I think we're
Nice.
ready. Yeah, go ahead and launch that first poll. Just trying to get a read on how much people already know about your product discovery so that we can make sure that we're starting off at in the same room or in the same level of expertise. It's always good for me to know. So how well do you know this product? How well do you know Jira Product Discovery? If you've heard of it, you know who would use it, hands-on experience. So it's good to know. We probably have a mix of exposure levels here, so um, it's nice to know those things. Give 30 seconds. This is a quick poll. You can get there.
We're getting responses.
Yeah,
A good mix.
doing pretty well. Pretty evenly distributed so far. So what I'll do today is I'll try to hit the main points. Hopefully you'll be able to follow along and you'll get some helpful tidbits, whether you are pretty familiar with the product or you're just a first time. So we'll kind of tell the story of Jira Product Discovery and how it's used with teams, and then also get into some of the crunchier bits, things that you can do with the tool and maybe use it in maybe some non-traditional ways. So it'll be great.
All right.
Um, excellent. So
I
I
think
think that
everybody has at least heard of it.
that's good. If you haven't heard of it at all, welcome. Um, all right. Do you want to go ahead and launch the next poll?
All right. Hold, please.
Okay.
Hold. Oops. Stop.
Okay. While she's
Hold.
doing that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself a little bit. My name is Katie. As Kathy said, I do customer training at Adaptavist. So I write and deliver customer training courses and help teams understand how to use Atlassian tools, Adaptavist products, and pretty much anything you might need. So that's what I do. And so when I heard about Jira Product Discovery, I saw the very first beta presentation. And I was so excited because I am a knowledge worker. And so generally, my job involves collecting a lot of information, analyzing it, pulling it all together, making decisions before action items actually get created. And so when I saw this tool, at the time I was working in so many different products. I was taking notes in Confluence, doing a lot of copying and pasting. I would use a whiteboard to kind of diagram out my ideas and collect different images. I would analyze data using a spreadsheet. I would then go and type all that information out in Confluence and share it. And then I would go and create Jira tickets, right? And so when I saw Jira Product Discovery, I was so excited because it really helped me understand, it gave me a structure to collect and work with this information using a tool that was then seamlessly integrated with Jira so that when all of that process was done, I could just immediately take those action items and connect it there. So really what Jira Product Discovery excels at is creating an actual actionable information source that your teams can use in order to compile and analyze all that information and then make it the single source of truth, share it with everybody that needs to be involved, connect it to those business goals, use those data points for analysis. You can perform calculations and you can communicate with a lot of different collaborators and stakeholders. Oops, that was my slide. I'm a professional. All right. So I'm going to take a look. It looks like we've got a lot of people who are really interested in the collaboration element. So because of that, really want to encourage you to put that costume or that selfie in for that poll that we're doing, because that's going to be, you'll be able to see that in real time, how our collaborators can comment and react to those different costumes. So, that's the last plug I'll do for that, I promise. Okay. Oh, I didn't actually share the results. Gotta do that too. Perfect. Now you can see. All right. So the great thing about Jira Product Discovery, the features specifically that help inform that process. So there are specialized fields that collect those key information, the key details about the product in a way that you can analyze them rather than just making a bullet point of lists and then cross-compiling those lists. You actually have fields. Similar to a spreadsheet, you can do calculations on those fields. You can connect it to business goals and objectives manually within the database of the idea, and also with, of course, Atlassian goals and projects. You can collect that input from all the stakeholders and make those decisions. You can create delivery tickets directly from the ideas so that all of that is linked back. You can use it to get an overview, a very broad overview of progress. And then also it provides a consistent information source for teams as you go through production. So everyone from engineering, marketing, everyone in your organization has access to all of the ideas and the information that was collected and analyzed during that idea generation process. So without further ado, let's look at the tool. Wrong way, this way. All right. So this is a Jira Product Discovery project, and today's theme is a company that is producing pet Halloween costumes. So we're going to get to look at a couple of adorable dogs and cats and their costumes today. Thankfully, my co-leaders, the ACE co-leaders, and then some of my colleagues helped submit some of these ideas. So I haven't even seen all of these screenshots or these pet photos. I'm very excited. All right. And so when you look at this project, this is a team who is researching new Halloween costume ideas. They're collecting all of that information. What's trending? What's interesting? What other companies are doing? What competitors might be pricing their costumes at? So all of that information that's collected during that process is then centralized in this project. All of the ideas show up here in the main view. You've got some actions at the top. This is similar to a project where you can filter and group up here at the top. Search for ideas here. You've got some sharing options, commenting. And then on the left here, you see there are different product views. So just like in a Jira project where you have boards and you have lists, this is very similar. You've got a list view. There's a matrix view that helps you compare data. There is a board view, and then there's a timeline view. All right, and you can create as many views as you need for every stage of decision making. So just like in any other project, your issues or your ideas go through different stages. They come in, they're in a parking lot. You go through the discovery, which is sort of that information collecting process. Impact, right? So you're assessing how well it meets your business goals. And then there's sort of a review process, which isn't in this standard workflow. Of course, your team's workflow will be different. And then you have, of course, the delivery process. So when an idea is actively in that delivery phase, it's still in your ideas project and you're still able to see how it's going and what the progress is. And then, of course, you're done. Check the chat here really quick. Lost it. Okay, perfect. Nothing new. All right. So, Kathy, if you wouldn't mind launching that poll, whether I'm going too fast or too slow. I just wrote a 4-hour training on Jira Product Discovery, so I could talk forever. So I just want to make sure I'm not going too fast or too slow. Definitely let me know. So let me know how that's going. All right. So as we're going on through the project, right, we've got, looks like we're mostly good, mostly good. Got 2 outliers. Info. We have to have someone in the, you've got to have someone, but most people are just right. If you are interested in doing this, it's pretty easy to create a sample project. So if I'm missing anything, or if you need clarification afterward, just let me know. All right. So we're going to start by creating an idea. So I'll just do that here. You can create it in any phase. I'll start it in the parking lot. And what I'm looking online, and it's very, very fun. I'm going to, pull up this this article. I'm, doing some research on what's going on in go away. Stop. There we go. All right. So, we've got this article on the Wild West. Wild West is trending. And so I'm not sure. I think that maybe we want to do some sort of Western themed Halloween costume this year. So I'm going to go with some sort of cowboy Halloween costume for this upcoming season, right? And so we're going to attach it to a business goal. So maybe this is something that will be especially adorable and delight users. We're going to put it in some categories. So all of these things are searchable and able to be analyzed, right? Okay, and we'll say it's for dogs. If you go into the idea, you'll see something that is very similar to any other Jira issue. All your fields, you can add a short description, and then maybe an attachment. Whoops. Where's my attachment? Here we go. You know what? Let's do this. Oh, there it is. Okay. So we've got this adorable picture of a cowboy corgi, right? Um, there's a joke about corgis I'll tell later if we have time. So we've got this adorable dog, and then we've put this in as an idea. So what I'd like to do now, I'm reading that article, right? Oops, thought I shared those results. My bad. So as I'm reading this article, I find something really specific that it's like we really want to see, I don't know, cowboy boots, denim shirts, and old Western flicks. Like this is the information we want to collect. So Jira Product Discovery has a Chrome extension, and then there are other apps as well. But I've got the Chrome extension installed here. So what I can do is select the project. So I'm going to go to Pet Halloween here, and then I'm going to attach it right here to that cowboy idea. Okay, so here is where you really see that implication. If you're doing a lot of research and idea compilation, this is a really great way to collect those insights about your product. You can add some, you can highlight the text and put that directly in. You can add some description, add some labels, and then you've got that insight. And that's a special field in Jira Product Discovery that really captures that kind of information. So if you view that insight on your project, right, you've got overview, that's where all the fields are, comments, right, comments about the idea, and your insights. These are little pieces of information that might contribute to your decision. And for each one of them, you can actually assign an impact, how much that insight matters, right? So if you're, say, are collecting input from user experience interviews, that might be rated higher. Or if you're collecting impact from market trends, that might be rated higher, depending on how your team decides what information is important. Right? So let's say this is a kind of a medium one. It's not really that important, but you can create multiple insights and see the different impact that you have. All right. Okay. So that's sort of the idea generation phase, the collection, and then at some point we're going to move it into discovery, right? And all these ideas here are in discovery. We'll just drag this down here. Okay, this is an idea we're going ahead with, but there's a lot of other ideas in discovery too. So let's go ahead and move to our next view. So this view, all ideas, we're really kind of working with the backlog and other ideas, but at some point, evaluation becomes more serious. So we'll move here to the impact assessment. Okay. At any time, if you have any questions that are kind of pressing about the things that we're talking about, go ahead and put those in the chat. I'm kind of peeking at it as we go. So in the impact assessment, we're looking at different things that are just specifically in that impact, or we'll just put the discovery ones in here too. How about that? All right, so at this point, we're rating the different ideas and what their impact might be. So we've just got this cowboy in here, and I'm going to say, how well does this cowboy meet this business goal of delighting users? I think it's pretty delightful. So we're going to go up here and say it's delightful. Now you can see when I did that, it just hopped up in the in the list of ideas, it suddenly went to the top. And that's because this impact view is sorted by an impact score. This is a specialized formula that is weighted to input all of the information, all of the statistics that you're gathering about those ideas, and make some sort of a rough calculation. So this particular field, you can configure it and weight it however you want. This particular field is taking 30% weighted by the impact that we just gave the cowboy, and then 50% by the insights. And so it gathers and compiles and analyzes all that information and gives you just a broad score so that you know at a glance about how supported that idea is. You can go in and view the specific insights so that you can take a look and see what that information is based on. If you want to add additional criteria, you can, and you can add it to those formulas, right? This is something that I would have had to do in a spreadsheet, but now I can do it in Jira Product Discovery. At some point, I want the costume production team to come in and tell me how difficult this is going to be. So a cowboy, we've never done something like this before. It's going to be a pretty original idea. So I'm going to say this effort is pretty high, right? We've got this script runner dev cat up here. It looks like we've got a really high score on that. Everyone's really excited about script runner. And so that impact score is really high and the effort's really low. At a glance, I can see that that's probably, I don't know, pretty good idea to move into production. But I'm not quite sure. And I kind of want to see at a glance how the other impact, what that kind of looks like. Kathy, can the impact score use other fields you create as well? Yes, as long as there's a field of a particular type. So if you look, there are different field types. This one is a sort of a rating, not sure what it's called actually. The insight field. So there are, a lot of fields that aren't compatible. I'm not sure if like numbers, I don't really know, or voting, there's a slider scale. So I'm not sure which fields are supported, but yes. Short answer. Too much information. All right. So let's say I want to analyze this in a little bit different of a different way. So here I've mapped everything that is actively in impact assessment. So that's the status this is in. And I can see at a glance this matrix up here. We have this, the impact is really, really high. The effort is really low. And then the size of the circle is based on impact score, right? If I wanted to change this, instead of effort impact, I could make some other sort of statistic. I can make that impact score. You could change the size. So these are all configurable. You can make another matrix for you to calculate something different. It's just a way to visualize how the data shapes up against the others. All right. Let's go to the review phase. And this is really where a lot of you said you were really interested in Jira Product Discovery, which is once you get all of that business goal and assessment sort of out of the way, you have to get some contributions from stakeholders and implementation teams. You have to have people come in and give feedback on these ideas. So this view is specifically set up for that part of the process. You've got a list of all your ideas that are in a certain status, some information. You can come in and give them like a test audience rating. So now we have another data point that we can put on a matrix if we want to. You can select comments from team members. People can vote on their favorites. People can give some impressions. So this is a really great way in Jira Product Discovery. You can either be a creator, which is someone who can create ideas and has full permissions in the project, or you can be a contributor, which means you can come in and you can add comments and I think vote. I'm not sure about that, but you can come in and view the ideas, but you can't necessarily perform everything. And so this is a really good way of getting people in the room, talking about these ideas, adding their feedback without having to write a business proposal or Put them all in as Jira tickets in a backlog or put them on a Miro board, right? This gives a really at a glance way. It's got all the information attached. So it's just really streamlined. You can go through this in a meeting, and then everybody discuss everything. And at some point when you're ready, you can decide to put it on the roadmap. So you can just really quickly from here decide where something is going to go. All right, I'm going to take a pause here. We're going to go into delivery status really quickly here. I'm going to move to that. But before that, does anyone have any questions about sort of the discovery information process, the decision-making process? I just threw a lot of information at you. Definitely throw those in the chat if you think of anything. So here we've got, once we are, rolling with our ideas, there's a pretty easy product roadmap. And this is such a broad view, but a lot of stakeholders and leaders need just like a really quick at a glance view of what's happening, what's coming up next. So this is a simple view now, next, and later that you can share with stakeholders. You can publish the view so it's available to people who don't have Jira licenses. You can share it, of course, download it, put it in a Confluence page, whatever you need to do. Oh, I didn't show you. No, that's good. Moving on. We've got a project timeline. So this is just a really broad, breakdown of what's going on in delivery, what's coming up next. During the review process, you can assign, certain dates. You can say this is probably when this is going to kick off. And then what you can do once it's on the timeline is create those delivery tickets. Is there a way to schedule to go on a weekly, monthly basis to share with leaderships? I'm not sure. That's a good question. I would assume that maybe, you might just schedule an email to go out and say, here's the link to the most updated version of the roadmap. It would be available all the time if it was published. So I don't think there's a native ability to do that within Jira Product Discovery, but you might be able to automate it. Not sure. So let's say that our teams magically got this Bluey dog costume done ahead of time. Fantastic. So excited. It's the start of November. We shaved off 2 months of production. That's great. So what we can do is move this zombie costume up. Team Beta is going to do that. And so now we're going to start this a little bit earlier. It's time to start right away. So we're going to create, is he? I think it's the global teams field, Alex. I'm pretty sure. No, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I think maybe it is a custom teams built. Tracking down pictures. I think it is going to be available, Chris. I'm glad you put those pictures in though. All right. So it's time. We've got a zombie picture, or we've got this zombie. We're ready to go into production. So at this point, what we can do is create those delivery tickets. These tickets will be linked to the idea in your Jira Product Discovery project so that you can continue to monitor that delivery. So let's take a look. We can just create this delivery ticket. We can choose what project to create it in. So the production department needs to have some epics, and you can name this epic whatever you want. I'm just going to name it zombie. You can embed the idea description and fields into the delivery ticket. So all the information from one ticket is then embedded in the description of the epic. But even if you choose not to do that, the linked issue, people can easily just follow that link to the idea and see all the information. So, Yvonne, yes, it can. You can create initiatives instead of epics. This is variable. So, for example, we've got this epic here. We'll just go ahead and create an epic there. for zombie, and then we'll actually do one for the design team too. I'm sorry, that's not the right one. Marketing services team. They're going to have to develop a marketing campaign around this new costume. So we're going to create a task for them. And I've got a Jira automation set up so that now when this epic is created from this project, it automatically created some subtasks for me. So just with that simple delivery ticket, now we've kicked off this chain of events that those tickets are automatically created and ready to go. Got this beautiful delivery progress up here. So you can see all of these tickets are currently gray. So this whole bar is gray. But if we go see that automation at the end, if I have some time, absolutely. Yes. It's just a global automation that's set up to create tickets if one's created. So on this delivery status, oops, you know what I didn't do? I didn't assign this to team beta. Oh, it is assigned to team beta. What's going on here? Oh, I'm not sure. Ah, I didn't assign it to now. Where's the roadmap? There it is. Instead of next, it's now. All right. Now it's going to be on the delivery status view. Maybe. All right. Never mind. Uh, man, so many details for a live demo. So here, though, you can see the delivery status. So of all of these tickets, the Bluey Dog costume, you can see every ticket that we've created under that idea is done. You can see that really at a glance. Here, though, Team Alpha, you can see, you know, we still have some to do. We have in progress done. And then you've got this really quick bar and the project target. So this, again, really great way to share this with your stakeholders so that everybody can kind of see really at a glance how that delivery is going and whether that's on track or not. So at this point, your team now has nothing on the next roadmap. So we can just go ahead and move this up to next, right? We want to adjust these dates. I'm not going to do that right now. And so now it's time to choose something to do later. Okay, and we'll go to the review tab. We'll see, yes, look, you know, this one's really at the top. We're still looking at, you know, that script runner dev cat, super exciting. Everyone's going to want a picture of this cat. I've got a whiteboard here. We've fully specced out everything that this is going to need to do. You can create templates. You can put a specific template into the description so that everybody knows exactly what information is necessary to go to production. There's just a lot of different capabilities. Anything can be embedded here as a quick link. So let's say, yes, this is the one we want. We're going to go and put this into production. We're going to put it on the roadmap. It's going to go later. We'll go ahead and give it a target start. We'll get that done whenever that's done, and then we'll finish it in December. Okay. So now it's on the product roadmap, product timeline. And of course, the way I'm moving through these views and making these decisions is just the process that I designed. But teams can customize this entirely for their workflow and their project, the meetings that work in their company, the ways they have to make decisions and work with their collaborators and stakeholders. They can customize the fields on every one of those views so that you have, you know, this is the view we use to have this kind of meeting. All Jira Product Discovery projects are team managed. You cannot have a company managed Jira Product Discovery project at this time. Some of the fields can be global. There are ways of connecting those projects. We're not going to get into all of those details today, but generally it's nice, in my opinion, to have a lot of control over work like this because of that, you know, just that constant iteration that's part of this kind of work. So that's the bulk of what we have to talk about today. I've kind of gone through the entire life cycle of of different ideas and how it would go through the project. Taking a look at the chat here really quick. If you have any other questions about the product before we go into that costume judging, definitely put those in here. Is there a timeline on company management? Not that I know of. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do that. Atlassian really loves those team managed projects. That's a debate for a whole nother day. I could soapbox on that. One of the challenges I see, is because they're team managed that yes, the fields show up duplicated. You can utilize some global fields in product discovery. So if you wanted to create a new field, you can utilize different global fields. It's complicated, but yes, a major limitation of team managed work is that field problem. However, generally these teams are working pretty isolated. So the fields that are really important to the ways these teams work are not nearly as important to the product teams that will need to be connected to the idea itself. So, um, luckily there's not a lot of field syncing and roll up that's required. Can you do all of JPD in plain Jira with a bit of configuration? So I actually had a client ask because they did not want to pony up for another product, right? And of course you can technically have ideas as a project or a issue type, right? In some sort of advanced roadmap. So you have the idea at the very, very top or the business goal at the very top. And then, you can create it that way. In my opinion, it's really not optimized. What happens is you have that Jira project, you have that ticket, and it's tracking this idea of like a parent idea for this delivery initiative. However, you're not collecting any of this information on that ticket. Your teams are still working in spreadsheets and in Miro boards. A lot of that information is just in the product owner's head. So Jira Product Discovery's real strength is catering to the ways of working of that team. Because a ticket in Jira, it represents a relationship, but it's not going to have any of this work on it. Do you have a recommendation when one initiative requires multiple teams who might have different timelines for start and completion? So generally, try to answer this. Once you get to action items, they're not working in Jira Product Discovery anymore. So those multiple teams have different timelines for start and completion. Once you create those epics, you could go into an advanced roadmaps plan and kind of figure out timelines, when things would start and end. You can always come back to Jira Product Discovery and adjust those project start end timeline groups. But I would say that right. Once you really get into specific planning about start end dates, you're usually working in not this project. If that doesn't answer your question, just put another a thing in chat. So, or you can come off mute. All right. Managed to get it mostly done in the time allotted. How to set up emotions. Okay, I'll just show you the automation really, really quick. It's in system. We've got a global automation set up. Okay. And I'll screenshot this and put it in the chat so you can see all the rule, right? So that's not the right one. This one I'll explain in a minute when we talk about the judging. So I've got these rules, create subtasks for costume, marketing, and production. So when an issue is created, if a linked issue, which Jira Product Discovery automatically links that created issue. So if the linked issue matches this project, right, then create a new task in the same project as the ticket that was just created. Create a new task. And so this, the action is the issue is created in, the production project. If the linked issue matches, screenshot this. If the linked issue matches this, Then, and the project equals costume production. Then you create a new task. It sets some fields. You can choose what fields to set. And then you set the parent as the current issue. That's the issue that it's triggered off of, right? So I'll just screenshot those things and I'll put them in the chat while my co-workers are judging that costume contest. So back to that other automation. When you put those JSM requests in through that JSM portal, this automation ran, which is create an idea in JPD when a Halloween request is created. So this is great if you have a JSM portal set up to get feature ideas from customers, perhaps. They can create those JSM tickets and you can automatically create those as ideas in your backlog. There are positives and negatives to this. Personally, I wouldn't pursue this path. I would use that JSM project to review all of those feature requests. And then you can decide, yes, this one needs to go and be an idea, maybe do a manual automation, and you can add others as insights on existing ideas, because otherwise you're going to end up with 100, 200 ideas in your Jira Product Discovery project, and that might bog you down. But for this instance, we had them automatically create ideas. So let's just go to that project really quick. Okay. Oh, we don't have anyone voting or reacting. All right. So if you're on that team voting and reacting, you can go through and take a look, see some of these amazing costumes. Oh my gosh. Silent Bob. That's a deep cut right there. Lazy Halloween costume. Beautiful. And so what my colleagues can do is come in and add those reactions. Not that one. Delete that. You don't need no tests in there. All right. So you can come in and vote. All right. We'll move voting as we go through the presentation. So we can all we'll give you all a little bit more time to go in and do that. But you can add reactions to all the different ideas. And this is just a really great way of collaborating on decision making. All right. Any other questions? We have about 15 minutes for Q&A and costume judging, maybe 10 minutes for Q&A. So I am here. If there are any questions I can answer about Jira Product Discovery, there's so many things that we could talk about. Just putting those screenshots in the chat. There we go. All right. Let's just make someone win. All right. We've got 3 votes right now. All right. So does anyone from the team want to come in? We've got, why don't we do a runoff, right? We've got 3 votes. Number 5 from Umbrella. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Okay. Let's make sure that all of these are actually participating in the contest. Han Solo. An adorable Ewok. Oh my gosh. Very cute. Kathy, Ariel, Alex, anything you want to add while we're talking about these? You guys are going to have to come off mute and help me make a decision. Oh, Beetlejuice.
Maybe we can also ask the audience to
That's right.
do
Like you
some
can't vote on the
votes and-
JPD project, but you can put it in the chat. Okay. All right. If you want to vote, definitely put your feedback in the chat on those top 3. Han Solo, Beetlejuice, or number 5. I'll answer these questions. Can we see the owl on skates? Of course. I didn't even get to show you all. I do wish you could just see all the attachments in a project. Oh, cute. While I'm going through these, Sabrina, can you explain more about the JSM and how it helps JPD? So, a functionality of JPD is that you can create a form in the project. It's a lot like Jira Work Management forms, where you're internally you can get feature requests and ideas from people in your institution, people that have Jira licenses that may want to submit ideas, but you don't necessarily want them to have access to your whole project. So you can fill out this form, but of course that's only allowed for it's only really allowed for people who have Jira licenses, right? And so what the JSM form does is if you have a product, say, Script Runner, right? They have a portal on their help site and they have a submit a feature request type, right? So anyone who uses the product can go into that JSM portal and put in a feature request. So then those feature request ideas can go into Jira Product Discovery, whatever method you use, whether you want them all to come in as ideas, whether you want to triage them in JSM and then create linked tickets, however you decide you want to manage that process. The JSM is really just a public facing idea intake that then can be connected to your JPD project. Again, this is very much like in the past, you would have looked at those requests anyway on a JSM portal and then maybe copy pasted some of those ideas into a document, right? So this is just really a quick and easy way to get all of that feedback into one place without leaving Jira. Susan, do you find maintenance of this to be easy, time-consuming, other? These are so easy to set up. I mean, of all Jira projects, now for me, it was really intuitive. Again, I'm a knowledge worker. You do need training to understand all of the different features, how they impact everything. But once you have that training, once you have a thorough understanding of the project, there's not a lot of maintenance once everything's set up the ways that you need. And if you do need to create a new view because processes change, or you need to add a new field because priorities change in the company or adjust those things, it's really, really simple to do. So this is one of those products that if you enable and train your team properly, it's pretty much self-sufficient, especially from an administrator standpoint, because they can make all the changes themselves. All right. Looks like we have a winner. Number 5. We'll look at that. Number 5, you are the winner. Get some vouchers. Fantastic. Kathy, do you want to take it from here?
Sure. So in second place, we have Han Solo and his lovely family. In third place, we have Beetlejuice and Lydia. I would also like to give an honorable mention to our dragon dog. Super cute.
Missed it.
Yeah, the dragon's a dog. So cute. Is that an American bully, by the way? Because my sister has an American bully. And so the 3 people who had that, I'll get your email addresses and send you each a voucher for certification tests. Those can be quite expensive, as you know, so that's a really great prize that Atlassian allowed us to give out. Thank you all very much for attending. I think we actually have one more survey. Let me start that one. It is not letting me launch it. Why not? Can you do it, Katie?
I don't know. I'll check. It looks like yes, I can. poll has been launched. So your biggest takeaway from today's session, if you don't mind popping that in there, that just helps me know, you know, what we learned today. It looks like in the chat, we've taught Beetlejuice and Han Solo are the same entry, same family. So that French
Oh,
Bulldog
all right.
get more than an automatic or an honorable mention.
Alrighty then.
All right.
A
Any
French
responses from
bulldog.
you?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your support, and I will get the recording posted somewhere and hopefully share it with everyone. I guess the poll didn't start, Katie.
Oh, it says it's starting. Oh, well.
This poll result is already being shared. Let me see.
Well, put your takeaway in the chat. That's probably the easiest way to do it anyway. So,
I
there
think
it
I
goes.
did it.
There you
Good.
go. Excellent.
I do hope that this was helpful to you, and I thought it was a really good presentation and lots of fun to do. Thank you all for participating, and we'll hang out for a minute to let people finish the poll. Oh yeah, I have pretty nails for today in case anybody missed that at the beginning of the session. And my pretty hat. But thank you all, and we'll see you at the next meeting. Hopefully, I'm sure one of our attending colleagues has another meeting coming up. Does anybody need to make an announcement of an upcoming ACE meeting? You can jump off mute. No? All right.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.